You're watching Through the Looking Glass with Dr. Jenny Klein.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Klein, and I've missed you, so I'm back with a new show for us all. It's about our feelings, fears, and fantasies, our pain and our pleasure, our problems and our solutions. It's a time for us to get together and talk things over. Think things over and find out that we are not alone. Perhaps then we can all help each other make this world and our lives just a little bit better. Did you ever get down when someone doesn't like your idea? Let's take another look at just that issue. Hey Jane, how are you?
Not well. Not good at all.
Why is that?
It's too cold. Anyways, God.
No control over the weather.
I know. I've tried for years, but it's not working.
You wished for years you had control.
Absolutely.
I've done that too. Sure.
I'm really having a tough time at work.
Why is that?
There's been a whole bunch of changes in administrative staff, and there was a merger.
How does that affect you?
Well, it affects me because reporting lines, in terms of who I report to, who supervises me, who I supervise, has all been...
Who responds to you about ideas you might have?
It's been quite confusing, to say the least. And I thought that I had some really good ideas as to how to move forward, and
But you have a new supervisor.
I have a new reporting line, yeah.
Reporting line.
Yeah. And I took some action that I've always taken. CC'd it, the information to whoever needed to get it. And boy, I just got some flack back. Whew. And
flack back from a new person.
Flack back from a new person.
With a new brain, with a new way of handling people.
That's true. But it was hurt my feelings. My feelings. I really got upset.
When
and
they didn't like your idea?
Didn't like my idea is an understatement. They told me that, I was working outside of the parameters, and
oh my!
Just really slapped me down.
Did you lose confidence in your ideas? Did you feel bad?
I don't know if the idea was that bad or not.
But now you have doubts.
But now I don't. Not only do I feel bad about the idea, I mean, I could start crying right now. I'm so upset. It's like my sense of worth. I'm questioning myself.
When you were a kid,
I think I'm going to retire.
Did anyone ever treat you like that when you came up with a thought? Did it ever put you down and tell you that's ridiculous? Put you down? Who was that? Those tears have history.
I think I'm just upset because it's like so startling to me. I'm actually embarrassed. I don't know what to do. Embarrassed
in underneath what you thought you should be that would guarantee an approving response?
I guess. I really don't know. It's just so distressing to me. I can't even... why would someone treat me like that?
Because that's who they are. That has nothing to do with the value of your idea. When you had a different person you reported to, they appreciated your ideas. When you were a little kid, who was it that no matter what you did, it wasn't good enough?
I just guess I was always looking to make sure that my mom, or I guess sometimes my dad, I guess I was just always looking for them to give me some encouragement. I feel like I got so little encouragement for them, and I just had to, figure out what to do. But I'm always very careful to include people and not, go off on my own. And now I've been accused of, making someone else look foolish. And
when you were a kid and you got a disapproving look.
I felt bad about it.
And you felt that something missing in you rather than your parent missing the ability to appreciate your effort and be kind to you.
I just feel crushed.
Well,
crushed from someone who I barely know. I'm barely, working for them, and I just feel totally crushed.
There's no time in your mind. It'll pick up those feelings you had as a child when you felt disapproved of and your ideas were criticized or not accepted.
So you're saying it has nothing to do with this new boss?
It does. He's the trigger for old feelings that when a little kid is criticized or not appreciated, they imagine if I were perfect, if it was a perfect idea, if it was a perfect way I did it, then they would be different. And they can't change their parents. They can't change their bosses either when they change.
Well, my other boss wasn't perfect either, but she didn't yell and scream and write these emails accusing you of being...
That comes from who they are. Instead of screaming at themselves, like you might have as a kid, because it wasn't good enough, that's why mommy and daddy wasn't that approving sometimes.
Right.
They are projecting their own put-downs onto you. In other words, your
instead of criticizing themselves.
You got it. You're smart. You got it. Everybody builds something in them that they can't live up to because it's imaginary perfection. And instead of dumping on them, they shoot other people. That's what this man is doing to you, this person, whoever this person was, man or woman.
Well, he wrote the nastiest email to me saying that, I told you not to do this.
He has to project his own stuff that he doesn't not even onto other people. He puts other people down instead of stop putting himself down.
There's a nicer way to tell somebody something?
I would wish that too, if that person were capable of being nice.
So he could tell me something in a mean way.
Yeah, instead of dumping on himself, he projects it to
But he wouldn't probably do that if he was talking to his boss. Do you know what I mean? And how did he get into such a position of authority, being so nasty?
Well,
I just don't get it. I'm just so tired of it. I'm tired of every single day having to be anxious that I'm going to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing.
You're assuming you're wrong and your idea sucks. That's not true, because when you had a different boss, you didn't have that. This is the character of the person that's moved into this position. And that's a different character that was appreciating your work before.
And I'm questioning my every move. I reread what I wrote, and I thought it was clear. And also, in the flurry of emails that everybody sends back these days, oh my goodness, it's impossible to keep on top of it all, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I realized that there was a crossover. Like, I had sent one email before I'd actually gotten or read some particular instruction. So I didn't do it exactly the way this person thought it should be done. And I wrote back, sorry for the confusion I've caused. I mean, I feel like I have to.
But you were answering because you probably answer very promptly, and the other email hadn't come in yet. That's not a mistake. That's just a timing thing.
Right.
And that's not. You don't have to apologize for that. Say, oh, I didn't get your other email yet. I wanted to advise you before. That's not your failure. And you're putting yourself down for that.
Well, they're telling me that they look foolish because of what I did. And I'm thinking, they don't look foolish. I just made a request and I didn't say anything bad about him. If anybody looks like they're new to this particular format. It's me, which I addressed, saying this was the first time I had worked through this system.
Well, you're very honest.
I mean, I'm taking responsibility.
Oh, yes, you are. And the people who are treating you like this haven't got the foggiest notion as to why they are projecting their own disapproval of themselves onto you. They're not aware of it. They just have people to beat up. No. Most of this world is not.
So they're not aware that their foolishness, they're blaming me because they feel foolish.
I'm in a position here, I can dump on whoever I want.
God.
It's horrible.
I just don't even, I like what I do.
What do you do?
I do like working.
What is this
We're
job?
doing human relations for other people. So you would think those of us who work in the field could talk to each other in kinder ways. It's like...
You can, hun. But that's not necessarily true when another person has a different
What am I going to do about how weak I am? I can't take the smallest of criticism.
No. This is not a small criticism. This is probably one you don't deserve. From some guy or some gal who has a big axe to grind. Instead of dumping on them, they jump on you. That's how they use their position. If you're in this field, maybe you ought to start your own company, because you obviously...
Not going to be doing that at this point in my career. I'm going to...
But if you have to work for people whose personalities you cannot control and their response to you is ridiculous, why should you live this every day?
Well, I guess I have to figure out how to cope with it rather than,
Well,
I'm not going to hurt myself financially. I mean, I have an investment in my job. I've worked there for a long time.
Okay.
It's not something I'm going to pick up and leave.
Well, how are you going to cope with a person with a personality that has a dumping personality?
Well, that's what I'm saying to you. I don't want to feel so crushed. I don't know.
Why would you be crushed?
Hurts my feelings. And I feel like I made a mistake, and they're being so critical about it.
Did you ever think, if I'm perfect enough, nobody would ever find fault with me?
I guess.
Well, that's wrong, because they'll find fault for their own reasons, not because you failed to be 100% perfect.
You can't be perfect, can you?
No. You can be excellent.
But I want to yell at this person.
You're angry.
It makes me so angry, and I'm so afraid I'm going to say something.
Do you have a pillow at home?
I have lots of pillows.
Good. Why don't you punch them and think of these people and punch them? They'll never know. And you'll get your anger out, not at yourself by putting yourself down, not at them, because fighting with them would wind up as nothing. But you'll get that anger out at the pillow, and it won't pile up inside you and make you so upset. You get your anger's a feeling. Do you have children?
Yeah, I do.
When they were born,
yeah.
What was their first objection to coming out of the womb? Was it a whimper, or was it a rah, rah?
Well, you want them to cry. Gets their lungs.
It was an angry objection because I was warm and comfortable. Now I gotta breathe. What's going on here? Where am I? Right? So that anger is something that we all have. We have anger, fear, happiness, sadness. We all have feelings. If we bottle them up because we're being a nice person and we never punch out the pillow on the couch, I'm not saying scream at this guy. I won't do anything.
You know I can't do that.
No, but what happens is if you get your anger out, you won't be dumping it on yourself.
I don't want to be angry. I don't want to feel bad. I want to just do my job, and I want him to
But
be
if I came
nice.
over there and I poured boiling water on you, you'd be angry at me.
Yeah.
Because I'd hurt you.
Yeah.
So anger comes
I'd also
up.
think you were being mean.
Yes, and I was. I would be. But anger comes up as a normal feeling if you stuff it. it can turn around and put you down. What did I do wrong?
Well, that's always my first thought. It's ridiculous.
Yes, it is. And who is it that's saying that to you?
I spent so much time.
When you're asking yourself that question, aren't there two people there? The one you should be and the one you are? So that who you should be is imaginary. It's 100%. And dumping on you because you left a comma out of something.
So I tried in my response not to be defensive, you know, and explain away every little thing I did. Mm-hmm. I felt like, oh my God, why am I doing that? And then I wanted to say, are you kidding me for the way you're speaking to me? I mean, if you have a point to make. But then I said, oh, that's not going to fly. So then I just wrote back, and because I'd already written back saying, sorry, I sent this out prior to seeing your email. Hope there's not too much confusion, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Then I got this other message saying, you know, very critical of what I had done after they had asked me not to do it. And I wrote back, again, sorry for any confusion I have caused. Not that I may have caused, I obviously caused some. What can I do to make it right?
You couldn't ask for more. Nobody could ask. But they have an axe to grind. They have a whole bunch of collected anger, and they got to find somebody to dump on. You're it for the day.
Just shocking to me to find out that people who are grown-up adults have such
contempt.
Yeah.
Well,
contempt. For someone we're working together in a group, and they can't allow for someone else doing something that wasn't totally prescribed.
Well, you're a very nice and reasonable, kind person, and you're very capable. The fact is, other people have different types of characteristics. Some people are into power, and they're into the power of their ideal, infinite self. And they like to, instead of dumping on themselves, they use their jobs to dump on other people. They're different personalities.
So you're saying that the way I would manage something is the way I would manage something.
That's right.
And I have to...
You don't have a power thing.
I don't have any power thing.
No, the only power you have is the power of pleasing and being reasonable.
Is it fun to have power? Do those people happier?
I don't know. They have different solutions to early life situations.
So there's no magic for them either,
no,
maybe?
There's people treat other people the way that they think they should be, like the all-powerful person, and if that's what they imagined up as a kid, that's what's going to run how they treat other people. It has nothing to do with you, honey. Except
well, I'm going to have to do some really thick skin.
Work on it.
Build some thick skin, because it feels like it's, you know, my fault. They're upset.
Well, that has history to it.
That's attached to my family, yes. You're saying?
Yeah, little kids, when they have a great big parent, and the parent says something, it's my fault, I did something wrong, what's wrong with me? That's how they react. Because that's their mommy and their daddy, and they know everything. And of course they don't. You grow up.
Well, I remember that if my mom got upset about something, and she would tell my dad, and then my dad would be on top of my mom being mad, then I'd have my dad being mad that I got my mom upset. It didn't even matter what it was about.
And you're guilty because you did something wrong.
Guilty. No matter what.
Right.
So I guess I've spent a lot of my life trying to
take responsibility for other people's behavior.
Well, try not to feel guilty.
Try not to feel, so you do everything right. And no matter what you do, you come along with a guy who wants to beat you on the head.
Yeah. And I guess that's why I'm always asking people, well, what do you want? How do you do that? What do you want me to do?
If I please perfectly, this wouldn't have happened as a kid, and this wouldn't happen now.
Please
It'll happen
perfectly.
whenever there's a personality like that in your environment.
In my life.
In your life. And this is about
'Cause you
them.
can't
This
make-
is not about you're not doing
You can't
something
make people
right.
happy.
You can't make people respond to you in a reasonable way if they're not reasonable.
Wow, that's a mouthful. You can't make people respond to you reasonably if they are not reasonable people.
That's
so
right.
this identifies their behavior, identifies to me who they are. So I need to focus on that.
That's right.
It's kind of like they're identifying
Not
themselves
on what
as
I lacked in my pleasing way, or my email was before this and that. You know, not to find fault with yourself. That's right. Because other people's reaction is about how they react.
So you think it's okay that I wrote back saying in their mind I've created confusion. So I took responsibility for having created confusion. And what can I do to make it right?
It was characteristic
Snap in.
of you to take responsibility for their reaction. In other words, it is characteristically of the pleaser part of you
Yeah.
to write that.
Right.
And I think that's very nice, but it
But
won't
would it have been
change them at
them?
all.
Right.
No, it won't change them.
So they will
They will find
experience
someone
that
they can kick
as
again because you're taking responsibility, so they'll be able to kick you again. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You know?
So maybe it would have been better if I wrote back, I'm not sure. Should I have been more assertive?
It
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If you have a reasonable person there and you can dialogue with them, then there's no problem.
Well, let's assume this person's not reasonable for the moment. Then what do I do next time I see them? See, what I want to do is not work with them anymore. I want to run away as quick as I can.
Good
but
idea.
that's not possible. Given the
you're trying to say,
circumstances.
if it's not possible for you financially or
Right.
career-wise, then what you need to do is get extremely efficient at figuring out your own system in response to people who are off the wall.
Right. So I
Instead
have
of
to be
taking
less
it personally.
reactive and not take it personally.
And you have to talk back to the one that's dumping on you and say, hey, this isn't about me, get off my back. And then you don't take it from them. If you don't take it from yourself, that everybody's reaction because you weren't good enough, then you're not going to take it from them.
So what would you say to this person if they said, what if they don't acknowledge that they got it? I mean, it's going to be really uncomfortable meeting with them. What should I do? I mean, it's like...
Okay, what would they say to you? Tell me, and I'll play you.
Well, I would want to ask them right away. I hope you got my email, you know, or...
Yeah, sure, we got your email, but that's not good enough. So I'm playing them now.
Okay.
Okay, now
And I would be crushed and...
Okay, that's right.
Take my tail and
you
put it between my legs.
Now
and-
you're laughing. That's right. But if you remember that, the only thing you have under control is not them, but
Is
what
my
you're saying to
reaction,
yourself. But what you're saying to yourself, right?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
Now let's reverse it. And
No,
let's rehearse it.
I want you to be them. I want you to
Okay.
beat me up some more.
Okay. Yeah, what have you done here? This is crap. This is really crap.
God, sounds like stymied. I don't even know what to say.
Okay, you tell it to me and I'll show you.
This is really crap. What have you done here? I can't believe you did that. I told you not to do that.
Well, I can see you're very angry. What's making you so angry?
Are you kidding me? I told you explicitly not to contact those people, and you went against my specific instructions.
And if you've told somebody something and they called them before they heard what you said, why would that be my fault?
I guess there's just no talking with you. You just don't get it.
Listen, you're blaming me for something that
It's your fault.
I can't please you if you have this need to put me down. I don't know what your need is, but
Wow.
this is not going to help us get the problem solved.
Wow. I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, because they have a need to put someone else down when something's out of their control.
Wow.
And instead of putting themselves down, because not everything is in their control, they put you down.
So,
I told you, you know.
Don't accept their version.
No, because if you have someone in there doing, if I did it perfect, they wouldn't talk to me that way, the way you did as a kid, that's going to kick in so fast.
So fast.
You're going to be shattered.
So I can see that you're very angry. I can see you're angry with me. I can see you're blaming me for something. Just put it back on them.
Yeah, I can see that you're very angry, and I'm wondering what that is really about.
What that's really about.
Okay. So we'll see you next week, okay?
Okay, that was really helpful.
You're
Thank
a very
you
smart
so
girl.
much.
You're going to get this, and you're going to get
Well,
good
I don't know
at
about
this.
that, but
You're going to get good
I'm
at this.
hoping.
Okay. Okay, now I want to say thank you for that wonderful role. It was so well done.
Very helpful. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, and Sue Friedman, you are in practice where?
I'm in practice in Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Right. And you're a wonderful therapist.
I hope to work to be better every day.
That's right, because there's no perfection.
No perfection.
Right? Well, you know that. Thank you very much, Susan
Thank
Friedman,
you,
for
Dr.
doing
Klein.
the show. And thanks very much for watching, saying hello when we were bopping around town. And I just want to let you know you can see the show on YouTube. You can call me. It's all in the credits there. It's 908-722-2933. And I'll use my cheat sheet here because it's been a long day. And I just want to say you can go to my website and you can, Dr. Jenny
Klein would love to hear from you. Email her, jennyklein@gmail.com, or give her a call at 908-722-2933. If you'd like to see more, feel free, just go to drjennyklein.com.